Hello, Star Lovelies. It's a great time to be a soul. Today we're talking about
Happy December 2024. Here we are in the last month, and the question the stars are asking us is, what future are you creating? You want to think about which side you're on. Are you in the positive flow of energy and recognizing that the stars are conspiring for your success? Or are you in the place where you're anxious? It's the last month of the year. You haven't experienced the edginess of 2024 in a way that felt comfortable. So you are dropping into doubt and confusion. In November, thoughts became things. So you want to ensure that you're on the positive side. The sun is in Sagittarius. There's the apex of the season of potential on the 21st with the solstice. This is the perfect window presenting itself. It's the one you've been longing for throughout lifetimes. Your soul recognizes it, but will your mind? It's time to reassess based on your instincts and natural tendencies. You want to look to see if you're following the beat of someone else's drum or your own. Because when you adjust your tune, you dance to your own rhythm with your own music and your own style. And you definitely want to take advantage of this time that I'll be talking about throughout the month to fine-tune your approach for 2025. This year, as I mentioned, has been edgy. And so it has been giving you the opportunity to expand into possibility, because when things are edgy, they bring the space out. And so you have more space for creating, you have more space for selling, you have more space for connecting, you have more space for living, you have more space for leading. And with that more space, some of us can feel really excited and others can feel really anxious because it is uncomfortable. It may be unfamiliar. And that's why December wants you to create out of positivity, because you want to have the availability of living the life that you desire, having that business support you, having people around you that give you opportunities or help lift you up. And when you're looking at the month of December, it's a black moon month. So it starts off with a new moon on the 1st. It has a full moon on the 15th. And it has that beautiful apex of potential with that solstice on the 21st. And then we end the month on the 30th with another new moon. So that's known as a black moon. And so when we're looking at this energy and we're just taking that vantage point, we can see that this month is really conspiring for our success, because we have two opportunities to set intentions. We have two opportunities to really step into the way we want to manifest. And we have a beautiful, large, multifaceted opportunity to release, to create more space so we can remove blocks that are hindering us. And so let's dive in and let's look at the magical supports that we have for December 1st. Let's step away from the stars for a moment and ask ourselves what would be really super helpful. And the stone of kyanite has come in. Now, kyanite is luscious. It looks like a shale unless it's tumbled, which it's pretty fragile. So you'll still see that shaling when it's tumbled. The most common color is blue, and it helps align your mind, your heart, and your will. So kyanite helps. Kyanite helps calm us. It helps ease the mind, and it can help clarify because it brings a beautiful opportunity to open your heart and to be able to hear its whispers. It also aligns with the will so that you're not jumping from one thing to another. And with the sun in Sagittarius right now, that is a proclivity to say yes to too many things. It's fun to have that uplift, especially after that dense intensity that we had in November with the sun being in Scorpio and a lot of other reasons for that intensity. And so it does feel better to be able to take that breath. But like I said, we tend to have too many things going on, and we tend to say too many yeses. And so kyanite helps settle that down a bit. So reach for kyanite when you're understanding and knowing that you're maybe going a little bit too quickly, or you're not even moving in the rhythm of your own tempo. The other supports that are coming in are hornbeam for flower essence. That, in fact, is the flower essence of 2024. So it wasn't surprising when it came in again. And hornbeam is so great to revitalize. It refreshes your mind. It allows you to get out of a rut of thinking, and it helps shift it, and it lets it be more spontaneous. So that is really refreshing if you have fallen into doubt, if you have fallen into that anxious stress of wondering, not in a positive way, but wondering and worrying. And so there's hornbeam to just help the mind just settle and to see things with more awareness. And then that's when the synchronicities can come in, and those sort of spontaneous actions can happen. And when you ask yourself, how will I be surprised and delighted today? That's when you can see people coming in and things happening for you that feel more in the flow. Another support is the Oracle card. Number 25, the card of brilliance. It is time to shine your brilliance. And that feels really good when you are in that flow, when you've reached out to people and they've asked to participate in their groups or on their stages or being a guest on a podcast, or when you've hosted your own event and people have said yes and they've registered, and that feels really great. And showing up, even though you may be a little bit nervous and you don't quite know how that's going to go, it does feel really good. And so you say, yes, I'm going to shine my brilliance. What about when those things aren't happening? When things aren't really coming together, when you've maybe not even put that call out and you think you have, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of activity in this space. That's when you want to look at the ways that you're hiding. And it's easy to hide. You can hide behind, thinking, oh, the algorithm isn't going to work online, or no one's opened my emails, or no one's going to care about this, or it's the holiday season and it's really busy, or, things are really chaotic in the world, so I'm not going to step into the fray. It's better if I'm just quiet. If that is true and really true, and you have been showing up all year, then do take a few moments to take a breath and be able to gather yourself before we head into the new year. But most likely, you've set a pace that the tempo has been maybe great for you, but really ask yourself, is it in the flow to not show up at all and shine your brilliance, even it quietly, even with, intimate partners or with friends, with close clients? Ask yourself how you can show up. And to help you, Snake has continued its work. Snake was the spirit animal for the month of November and wanted to continue for December. And so this offers healing, transformation. You can shed your skin. It, in fact, is readying you for the Chinese astrology that begins in that first new moon at the end of January for 2025. It's the Chinese animal for the year. But let's think about it from a shedding of your skin and combining that with the Oracle card of brilliance. Think of ways that Snake can help you really show up and being in the absorption of your life, to be able to digest it in ways that you may not have really been thinking about, because this is more of a sensorial energy rather than a thoughtful one. And we've talked about being in that season of potential. We're at the apex of that. And so as we open up to that beautiful earthly energy that will come in on the solstice with Capricorn, we can take this fiery energy we're experiencing right now and really open ourselves up to that expansiveness of Sagittarius. and be asking ourselves, how do we want to show up? How do we want to shine? How do we want to be aligned with what's true for us? What do we want to reveal? When can we be surprised and delighted today? How do we feel joy? What leap of faith do we want to take, but in calculated ways, so with discernment that's really our own truth and not somebody else's? What future are we creating right now? These are all glorious questions to be asking. And December stars rise up to meet us. And there are a few stars that feel suppressed because they're going into retrograde. Mercury's been retrograde now for almost a week. Mars is going retrograde on the 6th. However, we have other outer planets stationing direct. Neptune stations direct on the 7th. Chiron stations direct on the 29th. So there's almost like there's a handoff between the energies where those collective larger stars are now starting to ease with forward momentum, but our personal ones are holding us true, or holding us in our best form. Sometimes our mind can say they're holding us back, but that is in fact not true. They're holding us to our own truth. So Mercury asks us how we want to commune with ourselves. Mars asks us how we are being brave and to find our inner warrior. And these two planets are retrograde at the beginning of December, and Mars will go, retrograde until February 23rd, so from the 6th through the end of the month. But Mercury, in fact, will turn direct on the 15th, just in time for that solstice energy. And so there's one more star configuration I want to talk about just briefly before we get into a little bit more detail. On the 24th, Jupiter squares Saturn once again. That energy started at the end of 2020 and will continue through 2040. It's known as the Grand Conjunction, which operates under 20 years. However, we're at that first square right now, that first confrontation, and the stars are asking us, how are we prioritizing our grand vision? There is a beautiful article I wrote about it. There's a podcast that I wrote about it, and we'll put those both in the show notes. As we'll put in the show notes, the personal retrograde podcast, so that you can have more energy and more availability on how to use the stars, but also your own power and your signature and the true meanings of the star power behind it, so that you can create the future that you desire. So this is all leading us to 2025. We're going to hopefully in a graceful way exit 2024 and begin that beautiful fiery energy of 2025. And here Sagittarius with the sun in this fire sign is helping us prepare, because 2025 is going to be very fiery. In fact, I have a beautiful workshop that is imminent. You can go ahead and sign up at kimwoods.com/events. There's a special there for you if you use the coupon MAGIC200. And I invite you to join. If you can join live, perfect. If not, go ahead and watch the replay. It's a 3-hour event with a beautiful reference guide as well as a workbook for us to be going through together, because there is so much energy that is going to be coming in so quickly, and it's not going to be easily digested. And if we don't end the year in that moment of grace and ease, then we're going to be tumbling through 2025. And I really don't want that to happen for you. So go ahead and check that out. Now, for the big star events that we talked about, there is much more information that you can read on my blog, and that too will be right in the show notes, because I describe each one of these big star events. It's only a few paragraphs for each, but it does give you more energy to absorb so that you can really wear the beautiful clearing of the pathway that these big stars are setting us up for here in December. And so the week starts off, it's very, very active. that first week of December. We have a new moon, Mars turning retrograde. We have Neptune stationing direct, but there are so many other stars. It's a really beautiful opening at the beginning of the week, and we feel flush and we feel lush and we feel like, oh, great, this is going to be a wonderful month. And then it gets super complicated by the middle of the week. And so what we want to do in order to be able to operate in the best of our abilities is we want to be able to demonstrate gratitude. We want to take a few moments and show appreciation. And that will help us to remove our minds from limits and doubts and confusion and step into our heart and open us up to more opportunity. The second week feels less chaotic, so that's wonderful. And we feel this big blush of relief once again, and we want to say yes to big change. But big changes aren't required right now. This is a recalibration. If you're setting your strategy, of course, we want to put those beautiful milestones in for 2025. However, changing and shifting your trajectory right now is not recommended. We're in a retrograde time. That's when we want to revisit and review and refine. So think of small changes and think of how the constructs that you're employing, whether they be with people or with systems, can help lay the foundation for you to make them. That third week of December, where we have that beautiful solstice, we're going to want to take it a little bit slower. We're going to want to take some time for self-care and self-love, because this is about you finding your inner warrior. That last week of December, we've got another big star event with that Jupiter and Saturn squaring off. We've got a beautiful another new moon coming at the end of the month. However, Mercury is being really challenging. Just coming out of that retrograde, he starts up with his antics once again, and he's really asking you to revisit what's come up for you in the middle of November and that first week of December. And when you can take the time to appreciate the things that have happened and look at them through the lens of your intuition, you'll find information there for you that will help you and what changes to make. So the moons that are coming in, that first new moon is all about embracing your leadership on the 1st of December. That happens to be a 9th degree. The full moon comes in and talks about change being here on the 15th of December. And then that last black moon, that new moon on December 30th, talks about lasting change becoming the norm. Another 9-degree new moon. So the 9 is about wholeness, coming into that. What did you just end for a cycle, and what are you beginning? What a perfect way to end the year. Reach for that brilliance card. Ask yourself how you can show up both practically and magically. Reach for kyanite and the snake and the hornbeam flower essence. Because when we go into the tips for the month, we're really looking at 2025 with these tips by the Intuitive Success Signatures. But the month of December really holds a lot of value for you to be able to appreciate yourself, to step into your inner warrior, and to really determine how you want to show up in 2025. If you haven't taken my 12-question Do You Know, Like, and Trust Yourself quiz, go ahead and do that now. It's at yourstarmaptosuccess.com. You can go ahead and get your signature, and you can listen to what the tips are for you, because this quiz measures how you enter your world. Whether you do it through your mind and your thoughts, whether you do it through your heart and connections, or whether you do it through your will and actions. And that alignment of your mind, heart, and will is absolutely critical for you to live your soul mission. And that's what these times are all about right now. We're in uncharted territory. And so that's why reaching forth tools that are magical, but also practical strategies are really helpful for you to be able to use the power in the cosmos. So the wise strategist, you have such amazing instincts. Now it's time to follow them. You have a beautiful internal compass that gives you strength. So step into 2025 with courage, because when you do, that is your best approach. Intuitive visionary, let your intuition be your guide. Let it speak for you and also through you. This is to allow your brilliance to become apparent. And when you ignore your mind and favor your intuition, you are absolutely tapping into your gift to have the right rhythm and tempo for you. For Collaborative Explorer, this entire year is about you exploring your edges. So understand where you end and others begin. You have the permission from your soul to choose you. And it's time to fully flex your exploring ways. You have some fiery aspects. Get in touch with them now. Ruling warrior, listen to your heart, not your head. This is not easy for you to do, but your heart has wisdom that you can tap into so that you become more sustainable and don't expend your energy. 2025 is very fiery and you could just burn yourself out. So let's not do that. Let's take these retrograde periods over the next handful of weeks and allow yourself to have a different pace and a different, slower rhythm, because that's where you're going to get the richness and the power that you desire. Creative superstar, actually make a plan for 2025, not just the thought of one, not just the idea of one. You want an actual plan with strategy, with intention, with themes, with milestones. You want to build in your goals and your targets. You want to fill in the dates. You want to make the details and that schedule supportive of your energy. But having a plan for yourself in 2025 is the difference between success and failure. And for you, loving alchemist, 2024 has been setting you up to have and create your own stage. So when you build upon the success of that in 2025, this is the year for you. You are going to be able to fill your energy, fill your bank account, and fill your client roster when you show up truly in your power and be unwaveringly you. So the bottom line is December is a great month to create your future, and you have the choice, as you always do, to either come at it with a positive creation or, unfortunately, a negative one. And when you set your intentions, the key is to follow up with actions. So even though the actions are going to feel a little bit complicated, we're still continuing that cobblestone path that we've had for the last few months. That's okay, because when we take our time and set our footing, each step, one step at a time, that's really what's going to bring us the success we desire. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but with this December forecast, we are wrapping up the forecasts of 2024 and really opening ourselves up to embrace the fiery 2025. It's a moment that we can break through to you. You can break through to yourself. And how exciting is that? So until next time, as always, happy soul tidings.
Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more ways to use the stars strategically to align with your soul purpose, reclaim your power, and increase your prosperity. Please rate and review your favorite episodes, and remember to check out my website at kimwoods.com for my latest forecasts, articles, and offerings. To find out your intuitive success signature, take my 12-question Do You Know, Like, and Trust Yourself quiz and find out how you're living your stars at yourstarmaptosuccess.com. I've so enjoyed our time together, as it's filled with the power of the stars plus strategy to clear the pathway to your success. Until next time, happy soul tidings.